Hello again. My name is Daniel Platt, Green Party candidate for Albany County Executive, and I'm here again to help explain what the County Exec does and how I would be different in that role. So, first off, the County Executive is like the mayor or the president of the county. It's been noted that as national and state governments become ever more deadlocked in corruption and incompetence, our so-called leaders will follow trends, polls, and of course, money. Meanwhile, local office holders, should they have some kind of principles, can be more flexible, independent, and have more importance in moving policy forward than office holders and agencies at higher levels. For example, a local zoning board can do more to block harmful goings-on, like local pipelines, gas, frack gas and fracking, better than the EPA could. So my view of leadership is that of a facilitator, a coordinator that makes others' dreams a reality. This is important to know, as this is what sets me apart from other potential and other office holders. So, the county executive is, most importantly, the county's chief budget officer. This means that I and the team that I will have will plan the now $543 million budget. So think of it as a little more than $500 million. But instead of horse trading and staying in back rooms, as is usually the case, I will have town halls and forums to do on-the-ground needs assessment one area at a time, to ask the two basic questions: what is working for you and what is not? It can also be what is being funded that you like and what isn't being funded. Going for direct polling and information for a budget reflecting needs, not private opinions, market trends, or following whatever is considered expedient. Linked to this is the duty to report activities via a State of the County address. Aside from a preliminary address, I will not just have one press conference, a one-sided speech, divorced from how things actually are. I will hold a people's state of the county with a fully organized speak out, giving many a voice at a platform where now only the voice of supposed power is heard. Minorly, I am also the contract administrator with the legislative chair and the county clerk. Both county clerk is an elected position as well. So I'm responsible for executing county contracts and, of course, working them out before they're made. The executive also appoints many department heads with a human resources board that the county legislature picks. So it wouldn't just be me choosing, but this board picks the candidates, or rather at least goes over the resumes. I would go for picking people who have been toughened by working in the trenches on people's issues and have proven themselves to be reform-minded with action, not flaky yes men or I'm going to just keep my head down and keep out of trouble middle managers. We want leaders, we want coordinators, we want people who facilitate with people, larger groups of people. The county attorney, who advises the county on all legal matters, and the public defender, who leads and hires court-appointed attorneys, both answer directly to the county executive. I plan on considering making them less dependent on me for marching orders and ensure their independence and autonomy, two very important values. Why? Because this year the county attorney was fired, with little or no warning or reason as to why. The county plans on paying him his salary for the rest of the year, about 6 months' worth, for basically being fired. And it's kind of an example of the heavy-handed style of management that we've come to expect. They're going to do what they want, and they don't really have to justify it. So next is veto power. The veto power the executive has over a legislature, as all executives usually have some kind of veto power. Expect me to follow principle in whether or not I would use this most overriding of actions. Problem is, usually our county government or any local government doesn't actually have expressed values. It doesn't have a mission statement. If it does, it's very vague. Provide basic services or something like that. But there's never any values that are expressed. So a grayer area is that the county charter says that the county executive has administrative powers in over all other functions of government. This mostly has to do with managing the small details. Some just want to know that someone's got it covered, even if they lie or twist others' arms just to give that impression that they have the small details covered. I'll just say that I'm very comfortable with delegating and also admitting when I don't know something. An unspoken truth is that a true manager, or a truly good manager, is one who figures things out with workers as equals instead of bossing others around and then scrambling to cover mistakes once they happen. So, word on pay. The listed salary of the county executive is $77,000. This is far more than I personally need, as I take a kind of happiness first, and happiness isn't spending lots of money on yourself kind of lifestyle. And $77,000 is a bit more than the median household income in the county, which is a little under $60,000, and that's household income. So keep in mind that that's the income of two people usually. So my intention is to accept somewhere between $30,000 or $35,000 as salary, and with the rest, create a seed grant fund. With it, I would give out grants to worthy projects and enterprises between $1,000 and $5,000 at a time. The result, most assuredly, would be at least 8 solid successes in communities, a taste of the kinds of initiatives and means that I would seek to employ in building new wealth at the grassroots. County government, believe it or not, is in charge of quite a lot. It distributes state and federal aid, grants, and welfare programs like food stamps. It employs many social services that you might not know about, and programs for the young and the old. Some departments enforce and carry out state law, like the mental health. Others manage county resources, like the nursing home and conservation and planning. I also supervise them, as the charter would say I would, and in which I would encourage proactive approaches to solving problems and involving the users of services in designing how they'll get them. This is usually called co-production, that the people receiving a service should be involved in how that service is funded, or rather how it works, how it's distributed, so it's a two-way street. That's democracy in action.